Hey everybody, it's Nick from Android Headlines, and this is our review of the LG V20. So last year, LG gave us one of the most interesting smartphone releases of any OEM since Samsung's Edge devices really started to appear. Sporting dual cameras, a super high quality DAC, and two screens, the V10 surprised us in many ways, but wasn't a perfect device. This year, LG is looking to right some of those wrongs with the V20, a successor that's better than the original in every single way, shape, and form. Starting off with the body, LG has made this one considerably more svelte than its predecessor, shedding the rubber and plastic body of the V10 and instead replacing it with a metal and plastic body that's made of aircraft-grade aluminum. This new aluminum frame doesn't just feel more premium, it also looks a lot more premium too, exuding an obvious metal feel that's both sturdy and light. It's actually 15 grams lighter than the V10, 1.2 millimeters more narrow, and a millimeter thinner as well, making this a device that feels as good in the hand as it looks. Even the curved edges make it feel comfortable when holding it as a phone for a long period of time, something that not every phone can claim. The curves on the phone in general are very similar to the G5, however, unlike the G5, this one features a special polycarbonate on the top and bottom that act as bumpers when the phone is dropped, and the metal plate on the back is completely removable, giving way to the removable 3200 mAh battery and the microSD and nano SIM card slots. Just like the V10, this one is military-grade drop test rated, meaning that it's far more likely to survive a drop than most smartphones out there, but isn't shatterproof the way the Moto Z Force is. Underneath this strong metal body is an equally powerful set of internals, including a Snapdragon 820 SoC, 4 gigs of LPDDR4 RAM, and 64 gigs of UFS 2.0 plus speed internal storage. On the front is a Quad HD 5.7-inch IPS LCD panel with quantum dot technology. And while that sounds fancy, this panel's pretty average in every way, including some significant light bleed that's noticeable in all corners, particularly coming from that second display up top. While there are definitely some positive attributes to this panel, including the use of Qualcomm's new True Palette technology to achieve more true white balance in every lighting situation, the panel is definitely a disappointment overall when compared to most AMOLED-powered flagships. Thankfully, the usefulness of the second display helps make up for any negative qualities, and you'll find the second display located on top of the main one. Sporting an equally high 515 pixels per inch density as the main display, this secondary display is sharp and can fit 24 characters total on its face, which is 10 more characters than the V10 could. This makes it even more useful in everyday situations, and I found it to be invaluable in plenty of use cases. LG's secondary display concepts are among the best in the industry, including its most rudimentary function as a place for notifications to appear. Instead of having every app drop down a giant notification that blocks part of the screen, the notification is actually found on this secondary screen and acts more like an expanded status bar than anything else. If you need to see that individual notification in a larger way, pressing the arrow next to the notification brings up the full thing and allows for quick replies right from the shade. Since this is the first phone launching with Android 7.0 Nougat, you can expect pretty much all messaging apps to feature a quick reply straight from within the notification, a way to reply that's incredibly effective and efficient since you don't have to navigate away from the primary app in focus. In addition to notifications, LG makes the second screen the place to go for quick shortcuts and other information. You can drop in your 5 favorite apps here for quick launching, and there are tons of other panels too, like quick contacts, calendar, and even a couple of little tools like flashlight and that sort of thing. Multitasking via this second screen is as easy as a single button press to move between apps, with the last 5 apps accessed available on the top bar at any time. This combined with the new multi-window functionality in Android 7.0 Nougat allows almost every app to enter multi-window split screen mode and makes for a phone that's an unbelievably good productivity device. In fact, I found myself smiling while on the phone chatting with my wife on Hangouts last week while using Google Drive to go over our budget, all without having to navigate anywhere else on the phone. The size of the screen helps immensely too, although this one is definitely bulkier than some phones out there and isn't a size that's for the faint of heart, even with the small bezels all around and the reduced size from the V10. Of course, what good is productivity potential if the phone lags or has poor battery life? In either of these cases, the V20 excels at its tasks, launching apps with blazing speed, multitasking without having to reload practically anything at all, and running all day long without needing a top-up recharge. Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 is here in case you need to do a top-up though, and is powered through that USB Type-C port on the bottom of the phone. And just in case you're wondering, no, this is not the only jack available on the phone. You can actually charge the phone while listening to music if you really need to. What a concept, right? In fact, listening to music is one of the biggest highlights of the phone, as LG has placed 4 digital to analog converters, or DACs for short, in the V20 for an optimal listening experience. These high-quality 24-bit DACs work together to reduce audible white noise by up to 50% compared with the 32-bit single DAC in the V10, and have support for true uncompressed 24-bit audio too. Suffice to say, even without a software equalizer built in, the audio coming from the V20 is among the best you're going to find anywhere, bar none. Recording audio is also a major highlight of the phone, as you can record in the same FLAC lossless 24-bit audio quality that you can listen to. LG's new audio recording tool is powerful yet easy to use, offering a simple interface for ease of use, as well as an advanced interface with controls like gain, low cut filter, and limiters, all while recording up to a maximum of 132 decibels without distortion. This is perfect for a concert venue or other obnoxiously loud setting without the audio getting all messed up. These audio recording abilities extend to the camera portion of the phone as well, and the V20 can record in the same high-quality audio in camera mode too. Manual camera mode offers some of the absolute finest manual control over pretty much every feature you can think of, from manually focusing with ease thanks to the intelligent focus peaking method that many digital SLRs use, to the directional audio recording to keep foreground or background noise out of the picture when recording. This translates into some pretty fantastic real-world experience, where recording your kid's first words, for instance, turns into a quality audio experience rather than one where you barely hear them at all just before your voice yells over the speaker in excitement and practically ruins the video. Creative abilities of the camera are a definite highlight too, offering some new film modes that really highlight the abilities of the camera to produce some truly impressive works of art, to the regular and wide-angle lenses to both the rear and front cameras. On the back, you'll find a 16-megapixel sensor with 78-degree angle lens, as well as an 8-megapixel sensor with a 135-degree ultra-wide-angle lens. On the front sits a single camera with dual-function lens. At 5 megapixels, it offers an 83-degree and 120-degree angle photography. Quality of the rear camera is mostly excellent, providing pictures that look exactly like you want them pretty much every single time. The 16-megapixel shots of the main rear camera are sharp and provide tons of zoom detail, all while retaining accurate colors and white balance. Things can be a hair overexposed at times, and HDR mode isn't as aggressive enough as I would like, but overall these shots are super impressive, and there are plenty of times where you'll wonder if these shots were taken off a professional camera or a phone. That 8-megapixel shooter on the back features a little bit worse low light performance and zoom detail, but the angle of the lens is made more to see the whole picture rather than zoom in. In fact, LG has paid attention to this little detail by automatically switching between the cameras as you zoom in and out. The front-facing camera can actually switch between an 83 and 120 degree angle lens depending on what you want to do with it, but the overall quality is just kind of decent. At 5 megapixels, it seems like it would be a decent resolution, but overall, it almost always looks super low resolution, and is definitely a downgrade from the G5's camera, which is a disappointment to say the least. Video from both of these cameras is absolutely superb as well, and the 4K resolution, along with great dynamic range of the sensors with HDR capabilities, really provide some stunning imagery. Those weird jittery problems we saw with the V20 preview unit in our hands-on video are all gone, instead replaced by some incredibly smooth video that's stabilized via optics, as well as a new digital algorithm from Qualcomm. Photographers and creative types alike definitely need to check out the features here, as the quality of the video and photos from the V20 will rival even the best phones on the market most of the time, although that automatic low light performance can be done better elsewhere, and of course manual mode helps make up for that a little bit. It's not a completely problem-free experience though, as I found there were times that the camera would take long periods of time to load, in upwards of 5 seconds, which is well more than double what we're used to seeing on other modern flagships. In addition to that, recording videos took an additional 5 seconds at times, leading to a pretty frustrating 10-second gap between the time I actually wanted to start the video and the time it began. This isn't the case 100% of the time, but it happened more times than it should, and we saw frequent pauses and stutters in photography mode as well, a sign that LG still has some bugs to work out. And this leads us to the final point about the V20, the software. As the first phone to launch with Android 7.0 Nougat, LG has some big expectations to meet here, and it does so in pretty much every case. While LG's Android skin doesn't quite seem as mature in its visual design as some other skins, it's at least consistent over the entire UI, and does a good enough job of looking nice, especially with the new Nougat touches like the notification shade and quick toggles, for instance. These new parts of Nougat, including ones we previously covered, will add up to deliver a package that feels truly premium in almost every way, and LG has delivered yet another winner in the V series with the V20. The only question marks at this point that loom over the V20 are price and release date, of which hopefully will be coming soon. With a rumored price between $600 and $700, the V20 looks to be right in line with flagship pricing, which is disappointing in some ways, but at least it's not the most expensive device you'll find this fall. With tons of value just about everywhere, a feature list a mile long, great performance, and some killer new hardware differences, the V20 lives up to the hype in every way and has catapulted itself to the top list of must-have phones this year. We hope you enjoyed that review and will subscribe to us for more content. Check us out on your favorite social media network, and don't forget to check out AndroidHeadlines.com for 24/7 Android-based news coverage. Thanks for watching, and until next time.